Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Barbie Johnson.
And I am Tisha Winkler.
We're the Book Breakers. And today we have with us Miss Chiamaka, better known as Lady S.
Lady S in the house.
And
Hello.
how
It's
are
so
you,
good to be
Lady
here.
S?
I
All
am
right.
well. I'm feeling very excited about being interviewed.
Okay. And we are excited to interview you. So we just want to give the audience a little bit of background about you. You are a children's book author, and you've sold over how many copies now?
Well over, well over 10,000.
All right. Woo! All right. So you're being blessed to make it happen.
Yeah.
And
God is
I
good.
bought the book. I bought two of your books actually, and I thought
Yay!
I did, and I loved it. I said, "Wow!"
Oh,
And Lady S, there was something so special and unique about your books because
oh,
I went, yes, it was. They're not just books; they're Christian books, and they
Yes.
give storylines, meaning behind it. But before we dive into anything, we want you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
all right. Well, all right. My actual name is Chiamaka, and I'm Nigerian by birth. I was born and raised in Nigeria. And I'm a two-time immigrant, so my family we immigrated to Canada, and then after years of being in Canada and becoming Canadian, we got the opportunity to be immigrants again to come to the United States.
All
And
right.
while I was in the United States, I went back masters. I went to Columbia University's Teachers College to get a master's in philosophy and education.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, while I was getting my master's, I was working as a tutor at a social service agency to help kids who were academically challenged come up to scruff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came to Maryland during COVID. COVID hit, and my job, I couldn't even go into work anymore, but I was still having
Mm-hmm.
to pay rent. So I
Yeah.
decided, you know what, I'm just going to quit New York and move in with my parents in Maryland for survival purposes. And so
Right.
while I was here in Maryland, the idea came to me to utilize the talents that God has given me, like my
Mm.
talents as an artist and my abilities to tell stories. I decided to make use of them. And
Mhm.
that's how I ended up writing my first book. And I sold a few thousand before it seemed like God was calling me to pursue teaching for a while. So I suspended the work of selling my books for a while to teach first
Mhm.
grade at a private Christian school, and it was a wonderful experience, a truly unforgettable experience. I'm so grateful to God for allowing me that time. But
Oh,
after 2 years of doing it, God decided to call me back into the work of being an author entrepreneur, and so I came back to doing that. And yes, now I have sold, like I said, well over 10,000 copies. We are now
oh,
pursuing
yeah.
15,000. We're now
Wow.
on the
Amazing.
tail of 15,000. So let's see. By God's grace, we will get there. But it has been God's mercy and His grace and favor every step of the way. My entire life, it's like it's just been here, here, here. God says, go here, go here, go here, do this,
Yes.
do this, do this.
Yes.
And everything
Mhm.
has happened wonderfully in His time. So I'm very
Oh,
grateful.
yes. Oh God. I mean, and you are amazing.
Yeah.
The artwork, the clarity in the picture. I said, oh wow, this is great. And
Thank
like I said,
you.
so your depiction of what do I want to say of Bible stories in a children's book. I know that God was
Yeah.
leading you. So was that what part of His prompt in you to do that? Was that part of Him prompting
Well,
you to do that?
I believe so. I truly believe so. One of the last classes I took during the time that I was doing my master's,
Mhm.
it was a class in philosophy for children,
Okay.
and the one of the books we read during that time was The Giving Tree by, oh my goodness, his name just escaped my mind.
Hmm.
I have to look up his name later. But
Okay,
after
no
reading, when
problem.
we read that book, yeah, The Giving Tree,
Okay.
the book
Living.
was just a very great story, very
Mhm.
moving, very philosophical story that really gets not just children but adults thinking. We're all adults in that class talking about how we can discuss, how we can engage children in philosophical discussions, but we ourselves were having these very deep philosophical discussions about that children's storybook. And what was even more surprising to me is that that book is a nationwide bestseller, but the
Ah.
illustrations are quite simplistic. Like it's the I looked at the illustrations and I thought I can definitely do better illustrations than this. But the story was incredibly moving, and it
Hmm.
was incredibly compelling. And while during that period of time, that COVID period of time when I was trying to conceptualize what type of stories I want to write,
Okay.
when God was speaking to me and ministering to me about doing this work, it occurred to me that I don't just want to get children thinking about matters of philosophical importance. I want
Yeah.
them to think about matters that are of divine importance. I want them to have to be able to think thoughts that will allow them develop characters in a godly direction.
Yes.
And so, I decided, yes, that's going to not just be my work, how I make a living, but it's going to be my ministry, the
All
thing that I
right.
end up doing,
Yes.
you know, in this world. But I'm going to advance the kingdom of God through my
Yes.
stories. And these
Yes.
stories are going to be stories that allow children to really think about the lessons in the Bible that we are always presenting to them. And they're not just going to be thrown at the kids, they're going to be fed to the kids in these very entertaining ways, but entertaining yet thought provoking.
All right. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And yes, Miss Lady S, we have a lot in common with you. Not only Barbie's a publishing author, and I'm an author. We're also preschool teachers. Barbie, she tried to
Wow.
retire from
You know,
teaching,
try. I did.
but I'm still in the classroom. But we also know the things that we have went through, even as teachers, on how to groom the children. And can you tell us
Hmm.
some of your challenges you have had, not only being a teacher but an author, and how did you maintain those? How did you balance those things at one time?
Hmm.
So balancing being a teacher and an author,
Yes.
interestingly, I found it very difficult to do when I initially started teaching because there's a different type of energy you have to put in when you're doing your work as an author, especially when you're doing the selling part,
Yeah.
the marketing part of being an author, and then being a teacher in the classroom. I didn't know how to balance those, um, the type of character I had to put on in both scenarios. So I decided to devote myself fully to being a teacher and abandon my work as an author for that 2 year period of time. But then now that I'm more fully committed to my work as an author, I'm also a more compatible, like
Yeah.
there's a more compatible balance between being a Sunday school teacher and doing my work as an author, because I
Yeah.
write Christian children's books that are supposed to, build godly characters in children, and get them thinking about biblical lessons. And then when I'm doing that work, it's in fact it's a wonderful harmony, because
Hmm.
the things I teach my Sunday school children, I find myself applying that while I'm doing my work as an author. Like the memory verses we learned Joshua 1 verse 9, be strong and courageous, don't be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord
Yes.
your God is with you wherever you go. And when I'm selling my books, sometimes I get really, really nervous. Oh God, I don't know. I feel so shaky. I want to quit right now.
Oh
And then I
God.
think to myself, that verse just pops into my head. You've taught your kids, you've
Mhm.
taught your Sunday school kids that
Yes.
verse. You need to apply it
Exactly.
yourself. And then the other day, actually, I met a person who was talking about how, okay, only the Jews are going to go to heaven. Heaven is not for everybody. And one of the memory verses, or one of the most recent memory verses we learned in Sunday school, like I taught my students in Sunday school, was, to those who, like John 1 verse 12, to those who
Mhm.
believe, who have received him, they have the right to become children of God. So it's not just the Jews that are children of God, it's those who have received and believed in Jesus. So I could spit that back out at the person who was really
Yeah.
trying to come at me with, no, it's only the Jews. And I was like, wow, the things I teach, I feel like I'm actually now really having the opportunity to practice them while I'm doing this work as an author.
Mhm.
So it's been really great. It's like I said, it's been a great harmony being a
Mhm.
Sunday school teacher and doing my work as an author entrepreneur.
Mhm.
I have
Yeah.
a question real quick when you were
Okay, go
talking.
ahead. Go
Yes,
ahead.
when you were talking about the Sunday school, and I don't know why it came to my mind, but do you do you think you will write a curriculum book for like Sunday school, like a curriculum book for
I've
children in schools?
I've actually been invited by the head of the Sunday school department to join the curriculum writing team. I've yet
Oh,
to
okay.
actually do it, but I'm really excited about it because I have so many good ideas. I have lots of great ideas, but it's definitely something that I believe I'm interested in, and given the
Okay.
opportunity, I'll be
Mhm.
fully invested in. Yes.
I'm sorry, we were getting the prophetic right now.
It's amazing, right?
Oh
It's
my God.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
Lady S, do you see yourself
Yes.
writing any other, like, um, maybe a novel or science fiction or
Hmm.
something like that? Do you see yourself writing
So
anything in that area?
I have actually, like, in my head, stories. I can't stop it. They just keep popping into my head.
Yes.
You know, I think there's just I have like these stories in my head,
Mm-hmm.
um for maybe it's a young adult or adult fiction,
Mm.
and it's there, but I don't know. I'm thinking maybe at some point in time I would eventually get it out of my head and put it in paper and promote
Right.
it and etc. But it wouldn't be under Pearl Lady Books, because I really firmly believe in my spirit that this company, Pearl Lady Books, should be dedicated to Christian children's
Right.
books.
Yeah. Right.
That,
Mm-hmm.
that's what the focus is. That's what God wants it for. So, if I do finally get the work out of my head, the um adult fiction book that keeps brewing in my mind and making me feel like I gotta get you out. When
Yeah.
once I do, I'll have to think about how to release it. I might need
Mm-hmm.
to start a new company, a company for publishing adult books, or I might look for a publisher and
Mm-hmm.
another publisher who will publish that work. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, it does come to my mind. Um, at the moment, I do love to. I won't say I love it, but I'm very good at writing poetry as well. I
All
don't know.
right.
We have something in
So,
common.
mm-hmm.
Pardon? Yes, I write poetry and I publish the poetry on Instagram, and I get very great reception for it. And I've thought about compiling all the works together and,
Right.
publishing it as a book as well. But for now, I just publish it for free for people to enjoy on my social media for now.
No,
Yeah.
but you really should do that. Put it
Yes.
into a book form. Mm-hmm.
Right? I
Yeah.
think so. I think I will, because when I do poetry, it's not just writing the words. I illustrate the so in fact sometimes I illustrate every line. So I'll write a line and do an illustration to go along with the line. So it's like you're actually reading a book as with every line. But
Mm-hmm.
then what I'll eventually do is I'll put it into a video so that it's like, and then I also include music as well. So I have music and the pictures and the words, and it's very entertaining, which is why I think it gets very good reception on social media just because it's complete, music with the poems and the pictures, and people like it. And I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I will make it an audiobook, um I'll just publish it as a book on its own with a CD. I don't know.
Right.
It's just,
Yes,
yeah, it's out there though.
that's very creative. You're very creative. So, um,
I can't help it.
What about
I can't help
Lady
it.
S? Would you
Yeah.
like to elaborate your children's book into a Christian cartoon?
Ooh, it's so interesting that you say that. Oh my gosh. Um, so my book, The Book Awards,
mhm,
I have made animations of it myself. Okay, one, no, a couple actually, a couple of animated videos for it that I posted on my Instagram.
mhm,
However, I'm planning to work on a more in-depth animation. Like, yeah, I want to really work on the graphics so that I can make an animated series that
mhm,
I'll
mhm.
perhaps start posting on YouTube. And by the grace of God, who knows? You never know, big dreams. But maybe Disney's Pixar will pick it up and decide to, or maybe not Disney. Disney might not be interested because it does have religious undertones, but there are a lot of Christian animating studios that, who knows, they might decide to take it on and really create a series or a movie based on the Bogowads of Bogatera. But for
Yeah.
now,
Mhm.
working on my skills as an animator. And there's this lady at my church who is going to connect me with someone who is more experienced in animation, and hopefully I can learn to better improve my animating skills and
All
release
right.
this cartoon. That's actually my hope. It's it's a big hope, but you have to hope
Yeah.
in order
That's
to get things
faith.
done, to get to places.
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm. But
But
have you
yeah.
also thought about presenting your books to schools?
Ooh, I
Mhm.
have, and I've had the opportunity to present at three different schools now. The
Okay.
first one, of course, is the
Wonderful.
school where I worked, but then I've also presented at an event like the Mother Breakfast
Mm,
with Moms event at James McHenry
oh,
Elementary School, and I was my best experience presenting my work, like performing for the kids, was at a little it's a nice, cozy, and Christian um homeschool. Like there are
mhm,
like nine, is it 8 or 9 students, class. They were just, the nice little homeschool setting, and they were such an amazing audience. By far, I think they're by far my best experience performing my work. But they
okay.
just got me thinking that I would definitely love to keep going to as many schools as will have me to just perform, to just find that next great audience.
All right. All
And it
right.
will also give me the opportunity to improve my performance. I had a performance on Saturday, and while I was, performing, it occurred to me that, man, I've gotten better. I've gotten a lot better. I've gotten a lot more comfortable performing and being like, just, displaying my work in front of people.
Mhm.
Before, nerves will get the better of me, and I'll make 101 mistakes, and I'll forget the words in the book I wrote,
Oh, my-
and,
yeah, I
and
do
I'll
think.
hit the wrong tones on the drum or something. But it was interesting because that last performance, Saturday's performance, it was just like it flowed so smoothly. And I'm thinking, yeah, I need to keep performing. The more I perform, the better I get at it, and the more comfortable and confident I am. So yes, I want to do more schools, definitely, and more churches, wherever will have me. And right now I'm free, so
All
your
right.
audience, I'm free. Every time I tell them I perform my stories for kids as well, and it's a performance that they tend to enjoy. They ask me, okay, how much do you charge? Think every time I tell someone that, they always ask me how much I charge.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never even thought of charging. I haven't thought of charging just because, for one, I don't think that I feel like I need more work. I need to put in more work to develop it to a point where I know in my heart and mind where I can feel not I can I'll be absorbed of guilt if I ask
Yeah.
for payment, because I'm sure
Mm,
that this performance is
yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
getting to that point. And when I get to that point, guys, you need to book me now while I'm still free, because when I get to
Yes,
that point,
Exactly.
that's what we say about the Book Breakers podcast.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
yeah, when I
Exactly.
Guess
get to
what,
that
Barbie?
point, I mean,
Lady S, I
pardon.
didn't mean to laugh, but I was thinking me and Barbie can come out with you one day to sell our book. Because you sell over
Oh, okay.
10,000, you need to sell at least 1,000 too.
Yeah.
I know.
You know,
And Miss Lady
you can
S,
do it.
yes.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
The next 5 years. Well, I'm hoping I would have sold 1 million books.
Yes.
All
Definitely,
right.
maybe over a
Yeah.
million, but at least 1 million books in the next 5 years. And I'm hoping that in the next 5 years, you know, in my personal life, I'm hoping I'd be married,
All
Yes.
right.
Hallelujah. Me
Yes.
have
too.
some kids.
All right.
And
Jesus, do it
I'm
for.
really hoping that when that time comes, because my ultimate goal is that, and I've told a few people this, I would like to make movies. I want to create movies, and writing books and publishing books, I feel like it's going to be a stepping stone toward that. I always ask God, am I going to be able to do that in this lifetime? Is it going to be possible? But I'm moving, and let's see.
Okay.
With God, nothing is impossible. So in the next
Absolutely.
5 years, who knows, I'll be making movies. And then with my company, with Pearl Lady Books, I'm hoping to take on other authors. So I want
Yes.
to publish the work of other children Christian book authors. And I want to be so established that, when my company releases a statement that we now have an author with this book out, there are bookstores lining up, wanting
Right.
copies,
Yes.
the
Yes.
bookstores. That's my hope. So I'm making all the moves, trying to gain all the connections, and trying to put everything in place so that when that time comes, by God's grace, other Christian children books authors won't have to struggle as much as I'm struggling. I mean, God has been gracious to me, and the struggle has not come without great reward. But I'm
Yes.
hoping that um, I'll be put in a position where, other authors that God has inspired to create stories that will build godly characters won't have to go through as much of a struggle as I've gone through. They'll just
Mm,
need to come to me, and there I am the path through which your book will reach the world, and
Yes.
you can just focus on creating those stories and don't worry about it. I'll take care of the rest, I'd like to do that. Yeah, I'd like to do that in the next 5 years, if God will let me be that person, that medium through which more stories that'll advance His kingdom will come into this world. That'll
mhm.
be amazing.
All right.
Ooh, that is amazing.
Absolutely. So and God bless you in those endeavors too. Make them
Yes.
happen.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
Lady S, can you let our the viewing audience know where they can reach you or get your books?
So you can reach me on all my social media platforms. I'm on every social media platforms as Pearl Lady Books. That's PearlLadyBooks. And my website is pearllady-s.com. So you can check out my books. There are you can read a few pages of each of the books, and if you like any of them, which I know you will, you can purchase them through the website. You can also follow my Instagram to find out where I'll be if you want to meet me in person, so you can buy the book and get it signed in person.
All
Yes.
right. Yes.
Yes.
Like we did.
We copyright. I know.
Yay!
I
Thank
know. So I'm
you.
a little funny goose.
All right.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, Miss Lady S, can you let our audience know what do you like to do on your free time?
more free time.
Ooh. I know, right? I'm always working. Oh my gosh, I'm either it's either I'm out selling my books, and if I'm not selling my books, I'm illustrating, illustrating and writing and
Mhm.
promoting on social media and doing all sorts of things. But God does demand that we rest.
Yes.
He when God rested, he was setting an example for us to know that we too ought to take a break. We
Absolutely.
have to take a break. It's not all about the
Did
work.
you hear
We
that,
also need
Barbie?
to take a break. We need to acknowledge that yes, we have made good things and now we shall take a break,
Yeah.
So on those times when I take a break, I just watch I like to watch shows and and listen to music. I love listening to gospel music. That's
Yeah.
I like music with lyrics that are uplifting, but I
Mm-hmm.
find that it's mostly gospel music that has that uplifting uplifting lyrics. And then I enjoy doing other types of art, like cooking. Cooking is an art form, and
Mm-hmm.
if anyone follows my Instagram, they will see that I'm a very creative cook. I like to make, very elegant dishes that I take photos of and post as well.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, I like doing things that are artistic, but mostly to rest. I just watch some YouTube videos and chill and just not really think about anything much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And eat. I like eating too, especially sweets. I like
Oh, yeah.
chocolate.
We have something in common.
Oh, boy. Hmm. Well, Tisha, do you have another question? Because our time is up.
No, I would just, the only thing I really
It's
wanted to
already
say,
up.
Already goes
yeah,
quick.
we were so
Wow.
excited to have you on here tonight.
Yes.
And we're going to
I'm
have to
so
taste one of those
happy.
dishes.
Ooh, yeah, what someday? See, I don't do creative cooking unless I have people to cook for. If it's just for myself, I just whip up the dish and eat it straight out of the pot. But if I have someone to cook for, then I really go all out with my fingers and my little things and create. So yeah, one of these days, let's do it. Just
Yes. Yes.
just DM me.
Mhm.
We'll
He
see.
said, poo
We'll
poo.
make it
Yeah.
All right.
happen.
Mhm. So,
Yeah.
Lady S, it has been a joy,
Yes.
but
Likewise, for me as
mhm.
well.
And we appreciate you so much for coming on our podcast,
Thank you.
talking about your books and
Yeah.
where anyone who wants to purchase your books can find you and order your books. Um, but like I
Yes.
said, we got an autograph copy, so see
Yes.
her in
Yay.
person.
And we can't wait till that movie come out
Yay.
because we might want to be extras.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
you guys can do the voiceovers for the cartoons before the
Oh,
actual movies,
Yes.
like
woo
the live
woo.
action movies come out. Yep.
Yabba yabba
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So
Yep.
thank
It's
you
gonna
so
happen,
much.
guys. Let's
Mhm.
keep hoping.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Barbie
Oh,
Johnson.
And I am Tisha Winkler.
We're the Book Breakers with Lady S. better known as the Pearl Lady.
Pearl Lady.
Mm-hmm.
And where's our
That's
slogan,
me.
Barbie?
Our slogan is we encourage you to accomplish your dream.
Keep dreaming.
Aww.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye bye.